Yeah.
So what is this? What's going on? MTN is saying people should present a valid ID before MoMo cash out.
Yes.
What's the background to this?
It's not a new requirement.
Okay.
For someone to identify him or herself before a financial transaction is done is right from the beginning something that we started doing. It's a directive. And when we started the MoMo service in 2009, we gave a booklet. We call the transaction booklet to our agent, which we still give. And in that booklet, they are supposed to record name, the number, the amount, the ID type, and the ID number before the customer will sign, before transaction is made for the customer. But over time, we identified two things. Agents who really wanted to comply with it were losing business.
Okay.
As in, they will go to agent A, a customer will go to agent A, and he want to abide by that, and then the customer will go to agent B, and agent B will do it for that customer. So with time, agent decided really not to be bothered with that. Another thing we saw was also people hovering around where the agents are and trying to take pictures of those booklets with that information, and then they use them for fraudulent activities. So we engaged the regulator to see how best we can digitize that manual process, as in stop doing the recordings in the booklet and just capture it as part of the transaction.
All right.
Which will also help enforce this the agent to be able to now request for the ID before a transaction is done. So it's not something new. Just that because of these two factors, agents were not insisting on asking for the IDs of our customers before transactions are done. And since we put this in the public domain that on April 2nd we're going to start, we've had some misinformation within the social media especially. People are saying you really need the ID type that you used to register to be able to do a transaction. That is not true. Any valid ID that you have at this point in time, so it could be your passport, your health insurance ID, SNIT, driver's license, the voter ID, any of these, if it's valid, you can use it to do the transaction. You don't necessarily have to look for the old one. Others are also saying you need to take out your money before the time, because if, for example, I'm using my auntie's SIM, my auntie gave me the phone and he traveled outside, and so it's my auntie's SIM on the wallet, but I've been using it for X amount of years now. You cannot access it, go and cash your money out. That is fear. You don't have to be afraid. Just walk to any of our service centers and then request for an update. You go through some validation for us to ensure that you are the one who have been using it and you own this wallet. And then the necessary help will be extended to you. You dial star 170 hash. You go to option 6, which is my wallet, and you go to option 10. It gives you details of your information that is on the wallet. So you can check and then decide to now go to our service center and do the necessary update. So you don't have to panic and take money from your wallet, as people are saying.
Okay. You seem to have answered all the questions.
I know. I was about to
You've said everything. Anyway.
But it's cool. But again, just to put people's minds at ease,
Yes.
right? Just emphasize again what measures you have put in place for people to comply with this. So, yes, it's all great in theory. But again, the meat comes down to people actually getting to an agent and either being asked to produce ID or saying, look, I don't have my ID on me, Charlie, just do the thing for me. How are you going to make people, MoMo agents and customers, comply with this directive?
It is the way the transactions is going to be this time.
Okay.
At first, the agent is not forced to input the ID number as part of the transaction to complete it. So if the customer said, I don't have an ID, then he goes away to another agent. But this time, the agent will need to input the ID number as part of the transaction process before he completes. So
Got it.
Without it, then the agent wouldn't be able to assist you with that transaction. So you need to take any of your IDs and then you'll be able to get the service at the agent point.
How will that agent, though, be able to know whether or not the ID is a valid one? So are you, MTN, in a position to verify the ID presented before the transaction is completed?
That's two things. Agent will do the facial verification of it. So the picture, the ID number, all those features that we see around a particular ID, the agent will do that before now inputting it. Then we have systems at the back end that will also do the necessary checks before a transaction, goes through.
All right. Well, some of us are very kind of wary of losing our IDs on the go, so we have pictures of them on our mobile phones. Yes. Is that also acceptable?
At this point in time, we rather require the physical one instead of the digital.
We're in digitization.
Exactly. It's a step at a time. It's a step at a time. So we'll get there. We think that at this point, the digital IDs are being doctored a lot.
Okay, that's
and so we want to go the physical one. But then we are working with our customers. As and when challenges come through, we will step in and do the needful so that it does not disincentivize our customers.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's great. Now, speaking of agents, you've got a few naughty ones who sometimes charge people for deposits. So what are you doing? What measures have you taken to place sanctions against agents who go out of their way to do that and also to cash out without IDs?
Some of these issues happen outside the system. So, like you go to an agent, when you do a cash-in, we pay agent commission for that transaction. So you are not supposed to pay anything else. Now, when the agent charges you something, you will pay, and it will be difficult for us to see unless you call and report.
Okay.
Now, when customers report to us, you can call 100 and then report that I went to this agent. You describe where that agent location is. And then what we do is we send our sales team for mystery shopping.
Okay.
Right, just to confirm your assertion.
Okay.
And once that is confirmed, that agent is warned the first time, and then the second time, the contract is terminated.
All right.
We're talking to Godwin Tamaklo, Senior Manager, MoMo Compliance and Anti-Money Laundering. New developments coming in. MoMo customers required to present valid IDs before MoMo cash out. We have in studio to explain. Let's talk a bit about the campaign against fraud, because I think it's also a big campaign.
So it's not only about fraud. I made mention of two things. The regulatory requirement that we need to ensure as a business we are meeting regulatory requirement. And then this issue of people taking the pictures of those information and using them for fraudulent activity. That's also an issue. So over the years, we've been doing a lot of education. And what we've seen now is people are becoming more and more aware of what is happening. So you have people calling in and then, reporting that, look, somebody tried to, but I did not. So we are having people reporting of attempt, and that tells us that the education, is going down to the people. But then, day in, day out, we are having a lot of new customers coming in. So we continue with the education, grassroots. You can trust MTN for the ground games. So grassroots, community engagement, community information centers use one-on-one interaction with our customers. We also continue to enhance the security features of our systems. Periodically, we do have ethical hacking of our system just to ensure that the system is okay to support the transaction.
Hacking.
Yes.
How hacking can never be ethical, I have no idea. But I mean, we'll take that from you.
And we have over millions of Ghana cedis going through our platform on daily basis. So we have to ensure that the system is that safe for people to use.
Can you talk about the fraud reporting channels and what customers can do to avoid being defrauded?
We have various channels. You can call the 100, which goes to the call center. You can visit our service centers. You call 114. The 114 is specifically for agents and merchants. So they will, because they do more of the financial stuff. So once they call, it goes through directly to somebody to assist them. So 114 is specifically for agents. You can send a text message to 1515 1515, or send a text message also to 419, which is also another area for you to report. Or you can send an email to mmfraudteam.gh@mtn.com.
I like that. Can you repeat that?
mmfraudteam.gh
Oh, you too is long, Papa.
at mtn.com.
My brother, why? Anyway, let's give you the final word. What's your closing comment for our listeners this morning?
I would say that I know changes always come with some kind of discomfort.
Yeah.
But we want to assure our customers we are with them along the road, and we'll do as much as possible what we can to ensure that they enjoy the service. We are pleading with them. We know it's not easy taking the card all the time with them, but we plead with them to abide by this as we go along. If there are some changes we need to do, we'll be doing that.
There's a quick question for you, sorry.
All right.
Bernard, can you please ask Godwin, if I send money to my mom in a village, is that also not a cash in or deposit transaction? Some agents say that since it's a different receiver, it's not a deposit but rather a transfer, and they are allowed by MTN to collect charges from the customer. Thank you. I don't know if this question is clear. This is from Ziggy, man.
Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah.
If you are transferring the funds directly from your wallet, that's a P2P, person-to-person transfer. But we have people who would walk to an agent point,
All right,
and give the agent the money, and then the agent would do the cash in for whoever the person is and wherever that person is. Every cash in is a transaction that MTN pays agent a commission for. So they are not supposed to charge for any kind of such transactions when a customer comes to them. Cash in, cash out, these are the two major transactions that agent does. And all of them, we pay commissions for that. And so they are not supposed in any way to charge our customers for that.
We'll leave it here for now. Godwin Tamaklo, Senior Manager, MoMo Compliance and Anti-Money Laundering. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing stuff.